Live. I am 𝗕𝗠liche𝗀𝗀, and I am so glad you are here joining me for our continual connection, just you and me, two men, a little bit older, going through this journey of life together, our fitness journey. I want to help you simplify the process. When you come on, say hello, hello, hello. That's our Workouts for Older Men live greeting. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me what you're loving about our continual connection. Ask a question. And if you are watching this live on my Facebook page at 𝗕𝗠liche𝗀𝗀 page, let me know that you're watching from Facebook. If you're watching this live on my YouTube channel at 𝗕𝗠liche𝗀𝗀, let me know that too. Also, if you're on LinkedIn or on Instagram or TikTok and you're watching this on the replay version, that is great too. Make sure that you say hello, hello, hello. Tell me what you're loving about our continual connection. What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? I'm a big boy. I can take the criticism. Tell me what you want. I'm going to be doing this every single night at this time, about 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I want to serve you. All right. Norm. Hello, hello, hello. Norm from Montreal on Facebook. Thomason is from Texas from Facebook. James, hello from New Jersey. Live on Facebook. Great to have you here, James. Ken is watching from Asheville, North Carolina. Hello, 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 Norm. A high-intensity training to lose a stomach. Is that a question or a statement? All right, I'm curious. I'm curious your take on that. All right, what is the question? Should you do high intensity training? Is that high intensity weight training? Is that high intensity cardio? And I can, but I'm curious. What are you talking about there exactly? Thomason, to lose the body fat. High intensity training to lose a stomach. All right, I want to answer that for you. Sean, what's your opinion on bodybuilders dying? I think that is not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I think that a lot of times bodybuilders, when you're young, you feel you're invincible, and when you get into this addiction of bodybuilding, and you see yourself as this athlete, and that's your choice, and I don't think you think too far ahead, and some guys are paying for that. That now, I always, when I see anyone suffering from anything that maybe it's their cause of their decisions, right? Whatever it is, what I understand about people is really, if you really think about it, people do things, a lot of times the events that happen to them, and human beings are a lot more predictable than you might think. If this happens to you, and again, whatever it is, their behavior is predictable. Now, you might not know their traumas or what's happened to them or their perceptions or the way they frame things early in their life. But I'll tell you, a lot of times it's what happens to you. You're the product of your genetics. You're the product of your traumas. And then you can do some life hacks. That's the only thing you really can do. So I just say, that's that saying, and I'm not a big religious guy, but by the grace of God go I, meaning that, sometimes, and again, if you see this, maybe you've had this in your life where you've had certain, you judge people harshly. Why do they do that? All right, I would never do that. Or why do they prioritize that thing? Or why do they make those type of decisions? And then maybe later on in life, you find that, well, I get it now. Whether it's, I don't know, being aggressive in sales or something, whereas before you thought you had to lay back, and then you have the responsibility of family, and then you're thinking, well, that's how you do it, right? Or anything, you put people under the same traumas. You don't know all that they'll make the same decisions. So sometimes I feel very fortunate that I haven't experienced some of these things, the bullying and the things that kind of put people down a path and make decisions. So that's the way that I look at that. So let's see here. Question, what do you need to do to lose the body fat, Thomason? All right. So, all right. So very, it's going to be with your diet, with your nutritional habits. And it's not just cutting your calories. All right. Although that's helpful, creating that deficit, but it's done with your diet. So high intensity training, certainly weight training, that's not going to do it. I mean, a lot of guys say, well, if you build muscle with all your high intensity, heavy training, building muscle speeds up your metabolism and therefore help you lose fat. That process is really insignificant over time, right? It's going to be with your diet, right? That's what's going to do it. Cardio, can help. Actually, high intensity cardio is really good for the visceral fat, the really dangerous fat, the fat that really, sometimes when you get older has the stomach protruding. You really can't tell if you have the visceral fat versus the subcutaneous fat. You really can't tell unless you really get scanned. But the visceral fat is what's on the organs, the intestines, liver, that's the bad fat. And it's a little bit different where, the studies now show that high intensity cardio can help that along with the diet, right? So the visceral fat, high intensity cardio, is a good strategy for that. All right. Trying to lose that stomach. What do I need to do? If you look on my 𝗕𝗰𝗂𝗀𝗀 website, I recommend that everybody do. And there's a video that for 15 minutes, I'm talking about everything you have to do to get a six-pack. And you don't necessarily have to go all the way to a six-pack to have that flat stomach. So watch that on my 𝗕𝗰𝗂𝗀𝗀 website, how to get a six-pack when you're older. All right. Let's see. I'm 53 and all I want to do is to look good naked. Okay. All right. Well, losing that stomach, building some muscle, maybe a little tan, spray tan, healthy, can help with that. All right. Pete, hello, sir. How are you, sir? Are you at the Arnold Classic right now? Pete, are you going this weekend? Curious. Sum up your amazing fitness success in 1 minute. You obviously worked very hard, Skip. You're amazing. Well, thank you so much, Norm. How would I, in 1 minute, I would say that I was always searching for something to be great at life. In the beginning of my life, it was sports. I played all kinds of sports. All right. When I graduated from high school, things weren't going the way that I really wanted them to go from kind of my vision of myself. So, I kind of took a job in a company. I worked really hard and actually I did really well. It was a grocery store company. I became the youngest manager of this chain. For a lot of people, that was a really good job, but I always knew there was something more. All right. I always had good genetics, but I didn't really care muscles and stuff like that. I looked fine, right? I never had any insecurity about my body. But at 27 years old, I moved to a new town, and I signed up for a gym a couple times before that, never stuck with it. But maybe it was because I was displaced. I didn't know anybody. It was an uncertain point in my time in my life at 27. And I had a good mentor. This guy, he wasn't like a bodybuilding star or anything like that, but he just worked out. So when I started, I just followed him with the routine. So I just worried about pushing the weight. Wasn't, well, is this the best routine or that the best routine? I didn't, my mind wasn't, all confused with all that. I just followed it and I immediately grew. And one of my first contests, it was a low level natural bodybuilding contest at 13 months, but I was hooked. I found something that made me feel great. It was more than my physical body. I really felt I never loved something so much. I loved the hard work. I was genetically gifted, and then I was off to the races ever since, right? One thing is that my high school yearbook, right, that my quote was to teach is to learn twice. I was really inspired by my coaches, how they took a special interest in me in sports. So coaching became something that, I really, really enjoyed. I think being a drug-free bodybuilder and being amazing, you got all the heat. There's no way he's drug-free. And so, man, this is my career, right? I said, I'm going to teach people exactly what I do. how I train, how I eat, how I think. And I wrote for the muscle magazines. I was on the internet. When it first started, I found ways to document my journey, take pictures, videos, when it wasn't easy, like you just turned on a phone camera like it is now. And so that passion to spread the message, to be a coach, to live my passion. And, I gave up a lot of quality of life, right? That sometimes I still feel making up for now. But that obsession, for a lot of reasons, you got to have that strong why. It was just a perfect storm. And here I am 32 years later. So how's that, Norm? I know that probably took more than a couple minutes, but I think that's how I got here today, right? And more to go, right? Maurice, what do you think about building muscles with resistance bands? Well, if that's enough overload, probably at the beginning, even with, tough resistance band, not the most efficient way, but if you have a limited space, it taxes the muscle. You do enough reps, but, certainly that's the overload that you need for muscle growth is going to be limited with bands. Probably not the most efficient way, but if that's what you got, it can work. Sean says, thanks, Skip, for the reply. True words. Awesome. Which questions was your, Sean? Let me see here. What's your opinion of bodybuilders dying? Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. Ken, what helps with side flanks? I lost over 100 pounds from my peak weight, but my side flanks have stubborn fat. What is a side flank? Is it flank like you're a steak right here? Flank? Well, that's just getting leaner, and it's awesome. Congratulations on losing those 100 pounds. Right now, it's going to take time, and you got to make sure you eat enough food. You don't keep those calories too low. I don't know what it is. That's just going to take time, the tough fat. But you're here at 100 pounds, and now you're going to have to earn it and be more patient. All right. So Pete is at the Arnold Classic. Awesome. How's the crowd there? I think I saw a few pictures, Pete. All right, is everybody back? Same thing with back flanks. It's probably the first time I said flanks, probably in years. I don't even remember the last time I used the word flanks. Now I've used it 2 times in a minute or so. But same thing with the back flanks, the stubborn fat around the middle. Usually, if you just watch what you eat, you just exercise, you're introduced to it, you're going to lose, if you're really overweight, lose those 100 pounds. But then the body starts catching on. Then you got to be a little bit more intelligent in protein. Just cutting your calories isn't going to do it, especially if you cut them severely. All right. Good questions, guys. I love the energy. I love you guys coming from Facebook and from YouTube Live. Great questions. Which question should I put at the headliner of this? So that when people watching the replay, they say, hey, that sounds interesting. Bodybuilders dying, describing my bodybuilding career in 1 minute, which probably took me about 3 or 4, right? Should that be it? High intensity training to lose the stomach? Or how about side flanks and back flanks? All good questions. Great, great, great. All right, it's packed. Everyone is back. The only one missing is Skip. Yeah. I think, as you can see, I think I'm at a different phase in my life right now with these little ones and developing them. Right. Man, there's going to have to be a big reason for me to travel around the country to see a bodybuilding expo at this point. All right. All right, guys. Well, hey, great questions. Have you watched at least? If not, join me for the Game Face On 5-minute morning wake up workout for older men. 5 minutes, waking up our bodies with some light weights, a BOSU ball, a jump rope. Then we have a message that pertains to our experience, our lifestyle, our values, this stage of life. Now that we're a little bit older, make sure you join me. So far, every single morning, it's how I wake myself up. I'm accountable to you. You be accountable to me. And join me tomorrow morning for the Game Face On morning, 5-minute morning wake up workout for older men, right? That's when I'm going live next. I will see you in the morning, James. All right, sir. Look forward to it. All right. Just in a few hours, it seems like. Right. All right. So that's going to do it for Workouts for Older Men Live tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the energy and the great questions, too. I really appreciate that. All right. So let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. Got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.